the wait is over. The Chosen Season 6 trailer is finally here, and it's nothing short of breathtaking. As the series approaches the final chapter in Jesus' earthly ministry, fans across the world are gearing up for the most emotional and powerful season yet. From stunning Italian backdrops to heart-pounding final moments, Season 6 is set to stir the soul, break hearts, and redefine faith-based storytelling on screen. In this video, we're breaking down the release date, major story arcs, and everything the trailer reveals about what's next for Jesus and the disciples. Let's dive into the final journey. Season 6 of The Chosen opens with a seismic shift in both tone and purpose. The resurrection has occurred, death has been defeated, but the story is far from over. In fact, it's in this moment of spiritual triumph that the emotional gravity of Jesus' mission deepens. The trailer immediately sets the tone. Jesus appears before his disciples, radiant and calm, his voice filled with peace but layered with urgency. The miracle of his return isn't just a cause for celebration, it's a final call to action. Throughout the first glimpses of the new season, we see Jerusalem in a state of uneasy anticipation. The atmosphere is thick with tension. Roman guards patrol more aggressively, suspicious of any gathering crowds. The Sanhedrin, humiliated by what they see as a failed execution, grow increasingly desperate to extinguish the movement that now grows stronger in the very shadow of their authority. Yet amidst all this unrest, Jesus stands as a beacon of hope and quiet authority. His presence is steady, a stark contrast to the chaos around him. Season 6 marks a turning point in the narrative of The Chosen. In earlier seasons, Jesus was often seen as the patient teacher, the healer, the storyteller, the compassionate leader who drew people in with his wisdom and warmth. But now, as the end of his earthly journey draws near, he takes on a new role, the Redeemer. There's a solemnity in his gaze, a clarity in his words. Every interaction carries the weight of finality, yet also the hope of eternity. He's preparing his followers not just to remember him, but to represent him. The trailer teases powerful moments of reunion between Jesus and the disciples. Peter, still wrestling with guilt over his denial, is met with forgiveness and grace. Mary Magdalene, whose faith never wavered, seems even more determined to spread the word. Thomas and Matthew, once skeptical and isolated, now stand beside each other, united in mission and belief. These scenes aren't just dramatic, they're deeply human. They remind us that while this is a divine story, it is told through the eyes of broken, redeemed people. Perhaps most striking is the emotional layering of Jesus' final appearances. The disciples are joyous to see him. But that joy is tempered by the knowledge that their time with him is short. The way Jesus looks at each of them, the way he speaks to them with urgency and compassion, shows that he is not just saying goodbye, he is commissioning them for what comes next. The kingdom is no longer something he is building with them, it's something they must now build in his name. Season 6, as hinted in the trailer, is the bridge between the earthly and the eternal. It's where the teacher becomes the sacrifice, where the story of salvation moves from one man to many messengers. The final days have begun, and nothing will ever be the same again. At the heart of The Chosen Season 6 is a singular, transformative moment, one that has echoed across history and shaped the foundation of the Christian faith, the Great Commission. The trailer offers a glimpse of this turning point, as Jesus, standing among his closest followers, prepares them not only for his departure but for their divine calling. It's a solemn, electrifying moment. No longer are the disciples merely students or witnesses. Now, they are the messengers of a revolution destined to reach every corner of the earth. In one breathtaking shot, Jesus stands before the 11. His voice is calm, but the authority behind his words is unmistakable: go, and make disciples of all nations. The trailer doesn't just present this moment as instruction, it presents it as inheritance. This is the legacy Jesus leaves behind. The baton is being passed, and each disciple must now decide, will they run the race, or will fear hold them back? Peter, always the boldest, now carries the heaviest burden. In Season 6, we see a man transformed, still impulsive, still fiery, but visibly shaken by the magnitude of the task before him. In the trailer, there's a scene where Peter lingers in the shadows after Jesus speaks. His eyes brim with tears, his shoulders weighed down by the dual forces of shame and responsibility. He knows what he's done, his denial, and he knows what he must now become, the rock on which the church will be built. Thomas's arc is equally compelling. His intellectual nature, once a barrier to belief, now becomes a crucible for faith. The trailer hints at a key moment when Thomas confides in Matthew, his voice trembling, "What if I fail him again?" It's not just about disbelief anymore, it's about the haunting possibility of falling short, even after witnessing the miracle of the resurrection. His doubt now becomes a tool of introspection, and through it, he finds courage. Mary Magdalene, too, shines in the unfolding of the commission. No longer seen as just the one who was healed, she rises as a fierce and faithful leader. The trailer showcases her in moments of quiet reflection and fierce proclamation. She's often the emotional anchor of the group, reminding the others not only of what Jesus said, but of who he was. Her courage becomes contagious. There is a tender thread woven throughout these scenes, the realization that this may be the last time they see Jesus in the flesh. Every glance, every gesture, every word is cherished, and yet, the urgency of the mission leaves no time for despair. The emotional weight of farewell is balanced by the holy fire of purpose. As the Great Commission unfolds, the mission transforms from personal devotion to eternal responsibility. The disciples are no longer just followers of Christ, they are carriers of his message, vessels of his light. Season 6 captures this profound pivot with emotional depth, spiritual clarity, and cinematic power. The time has come for the apostles to step forward, not just to remember Jesus, but to represent him to the world. Season 6 of The Chosen is more than a farewell to Jesus, it's the beginning of something new for his followers. The trailer powerfully suggests a season of transition, as the apostles step out of the shadow of their teacher and into the daunting role of leaders, preachers, and pioneers of a spiritual revolution. Each disciple must now wrestle with who they were, who they've become, and who they are being called to be. Matthew's evolution is one of the most compelling arcs in this season. Once an outcast tax collector, socially awkward, emotionally guarded, he now stands tall with a sense of quiet authority. In earlier seasons, Matthew's struggle was identity, now, his struggle is purpose. The trailer shows him writing intently, capturing Jesus' teachings with clarity and reverence. It's clear that he understands the importance of getting the story right. His character no longer seeks belonging from others, he finds it in his mission, in his calling. He is now not just a record keeper but a man of spiritual depth and unwavering faith. John, often called the beloved disciple, takes on a quieter but equally profound role. The trailer hints at his emerging voice as a storyteller. We see glimpses of him watching Jesus in silent awe, as if memorizing every moment for the gospel he will later write. His perspective is personal and poetic, less about facts and more about the divine essence of who Jesus was. John's transformation is one of spiritual vision, while others wrestle with action, he meditates on meaning. His arc reminds us that leadership doesn't always look loud, it can be reflective and rich with insight. Perhaps most surprising is the emotional presence of Judas. Though his fate is already sealed by the timeline, the trailer suggests that the show will not ignore his impact. Instead of villainizing him completely, The Chosen dares to explore the sorrow behind the betrayal. Flashbacks hint at his internal turmoil, moments of hesitation, of longing to do what was right but being pulled by darker forces. These haunting sequences are not meant to absolve him, but to humanize him. Judas was not a monster, he was a man who made a terrible choice, and the show honors the complexity of that truth. The trailer also offers glimpses of other disciples transitioning into their new roles. Andrew, often in Peter's shadow, begins to find his own voice. Philip continues to mentor Nathanael, who still questions his worth in the wake of Jesus' departure. Even lesser-seen characters, like Thaddeus and James the Less, seem poised for deeper storytelling. Each apostle carries wounds, of loss, of doubt, of fear, but they also carry light, forged in the fire of their journey with Christ. What makes this chapter so emotionally powerful is that The Chosen refuses to depict the apostles as untouchable saints. They are men and women in transition, grieving, growing, transforming. Season 6 brings these quiet battles into the light, making their legacy feel all the more real. They're not just the apostles. They're us, flawed, faithful, and forever changed. From its humble, crowdfunded beginnings to global acclaim, The Chosen has continually raised the bar for faith-based storytelling. But Season 6 takes that bar and launches it into the heavens. With principal photography now set against the awe-inspiring backdrops of Italy and the Mediterranean landscape, the series makes its most cinematic leap yet, visually, emotionally, and spiritually. The trailer is filled with sweeping shots of rolling hills, ancient architecture, and sun-drenched coastlines that feel as if they were carved specifically to capture the final days of Jesus' ministry. From towering Roman palaces to narrow, stone-paved alleyways, each location adds a tangible richness to the storytelling. The production doesn't just recreate biblical history, it immerses the viewer in it. Italy's historical beauty becomes more than just a background, it becomes a character in its own right, echoing the grandeur and tension of the era. One of the most visually striking moments in the trailer shows a vast crowd gathering near a hillside, their faces upturned, their eyes locked on Jesus as he delivers his final teachings. The camera sweeps across the sea of people with a reverence that mirrors the crowd's awe. You can feel the weight of the moment in every frame, the hush of expectation, the air charged with divine presence. It's in scenes like these that The Chosen bridges the gap between spectacle and sacredness. But the season isn't all grandeur. The intimacy of the story is preserved in quiet, emotional moments, Jesus praying alone in the early dawn light, Mary Magdalene weeping in a hidden corner of Jerusalem, the disciples huddled in uncertainty inside shadowed rooms. Director Dallas Jenkins shows his mastery not just in scale but in subtlety. He understands that the emotional truth of the gospel is found not only in miracles but in murmurs, not just in multitudes but in moments. The trailer also showcases some of the show's most ambitious visual storytelling yet: dramatic lighting during tense Roman council scenes, slow-motion shots of betrayal and resolve, and symbolic imagery that transcends literal interpretation. Every shot feels purposeful, carefully lit, richly composed, and emotionally loaded. What truly sets Season 6 apart is the blending of cinematic quality with spiritual intimacy. Unlike many historical dramas that rely on grandeur for emotional impact, The Chosen roots its power in the human heart. The visuals may rival any Hollywood epic, but the story never loses its soul. Jenkins and his team push the boundaries of what Christian television can be, proving that faith-based content doesn't need to compromise on artistry, budget, or emotional resonance. Season 6 isn't just the culmination of a biblical story, it's the culmination of a filmmaking journey. A journey that honors the greatest story ever told by telling it with beauty, reverence, and world-class craft. With every sweeping landscape, every tear-streaked close-up, and every word spoken under the weight of eternity, The Chosen delivers not just a show, but a sacred experience. The moment fans around the world have been waiting for is finally drawing near. After months of speculation and growing anticipation, the official release timeline for The Chosen Season 6 has been confirmed, and it's shaping up to be unlike anything we've seen from a faith-based series before. According to the latest updates from creator Dallas Jenkins and the show's official channels, the first 6 episodes of The Chosen Season 6 will begin streaming in early 2026. While a specific date hasn't been pinned down yet, the production team has assured fans that the schedule is on track, with post-production already underway on the earliest episodes. These episodes will be made available globally through the Chosen app and partner streaming platforms, continuing the show's mission to be free and accessible to viewers worldwide. But the real innovation lies in what comes after. In a bold and historic move, The Chosen is planning to close out its 6th, and final, season with a theatrical event finale. That's right, the last few episodes will hit the big screen, bringing the emotional crescendo of Jesus' final hours to cinemas across the globe. This decision marks a groundbreaking moment in Christian media. No other faith-based series has ever taken this kind of step, delivering a television show's conclusion with the cinematic scale and grandeur of a theatrical release. The idea behind the theatrical finale is more than just spectacle. It's about shared experience. Watching The Chosen has always been deeply personal, but bringing the final moments of Jesus' ministry into theaters turns it into a communal act of faith, reflection, and celebration. Imagine rows of believers, families, and curious newcomers alike, gathered in one place to witness the most powerful chapter of this journey unfold. For many, it will be more than entertainment. It will be worship. The response from fans has already been overwhelming. Across social media, forums, and church groups, excitement is boiling over. Watch parties are being planned. Church screenings are being scheduled. Some communities are even organizing entire weekends of prayer, fellowship, and binge-watching in preparation for the premiere. The show has transcended television, it has become a movement. What started as a crowd-funded experiment has become a worldwide phenomenon, and Season 6 will be the most ambitious expression of that growth yet. Not only is the production value higher and the storytelling deeper, but the release strategy itself is a statement. Faith-based media deserves a seat at the cultural table. For fans who have walked alongside this story from the beginning, from the fishing boats of Galilee to the footsteps of Golgotha, this finale will be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Whether you stream it at home or witness the final scenes unfold in a packed theater, one thing is certain, The Chosen Season 6 will not just mark the end of a series. It will mark the beginning of a legacy. From its humble beginnings as a crowd-funded project with a passionate, niche following to its emergence as one of the most globally impactful Christian series in history, The Chosen has never stopped breaking barriers. What began with a few loaves and fishes, figuratively speaking, has become a storytelling miracle that spans continents, languages, and hearts. Now, with Season 6, the series stands at the edge of something greater than itself. This final chapter isn't just a conclusion, it's a culmination. And it's about legacy. Season 6 represents the fulfillment of everything The Chosen set out to achieve, to humanize the gospel, to tell the story of Jesus in a way that resonates deeply, and to inspire a renewed connection between believers and the Bible. But in doing so, it has accomplished something even more unexpected. It has created a global faith movement. From small groups in remote villages to megachurch screenings and university discussions, the ripple effect of The Chosen has gone far beyond the screen. It has awakened hearts. This season, in particular, carries the weight of that legacy. As the trailer reveals, Jesus' earthly ministry is nearing its end. His final words, glances, and teachings take on eternal significance. But while his time with the disciples concludes, their journey, and ours, is just beginning. The emotional tone of Season 6 is bittersweet. There are goodbyes, yes, but they are followed by calls to action. There is heartbreak, but it is stitched with hope. The sorrow of the crucifixion gives way to the fire of the Great Commission. That fire is where the legacy lives. For longtime viewers, this final season is a deeply personal experience. We've walked alongside these characters, watched their flaws, their growth, their doubts, and their faith. We've seen Peter go from fisherman to leader, Matthew from outcast to apostle, Mary Magdalene from broken to bold. Their stories have become mirrors for our own. Season 6 honors that investment by showing us not just how their lives changed, but how they changed the world. But The Chosen's legacy isn't limited to its characters. It's about what the show has awakened in the hearts of those who watch. The series has inspired prayer, sparked Bible reading, led to baptisms, and even reconnected believers with long-forgotten faith. Season 6 amplifies that spark, pointing toward a future where the message of Christ isn't just remembered, it's lived out daily, by all of us. Whether you've been watching since Season 1 or just discovered The Chosen recently, Season 6 is designed to stay with you. It's not the end of the story, it's the launch of a legacy. As Jesus leaves the world in the physical sense, his spirit moves into the hearts of the apostles, and through them, into the hearts of generations to come. And that is The Chosen's greatest achievement, reminding us that the gospel is not a story that ends, it's a story that lives on. And there you have it, the journey of The Chosen Season 6 is more than just a final chapter. It's a spiritual milestone, a cinematic achievement, and a global movement rolled into one unforgettable season. From the breathtaking landscapes of Italy to the emotionally charged performances of the cast, everything about this season points to something deeper. It's not just about what happened 2,000 years ago, it's about what still lives on today in every heart moved by this story. Whether you've followed The Chosen since Season 1 or you're just now stepping into the sacred experience, Season 6 promises to leave a lasting mark on your soul. It's a reminder that faith isn't frozen in history. It's alive, powerful, and waiting to be lived out. So, what's next? Make sure you subscribe to Sugar Bee right now for all the latest updates, trailer breakdowns, episode reactions, and behind-the-scenes insights from The Chosen and more shows that matter. We'll be covering the theatrical finale, cast interviews, and fan theories as they drop. You don't want to miss a single moment. Speech Balloon, let us know in the comments, what are you most excited to see in Season 6? Which character's journey has touched you the most? Folded hands, and remember, the story may end on screen, but the message lives on through us. Thanks for watching, Sugar Bee family. Until next time, stay inspired, stay faithful, and stay tuned.